So if you've been thinking about or trying to decide if you should buy NVIDIA, either add to your existing NVIDIA holdings or buy in and get in, now is the right time. This is the buy window that you have been begging for, that you've been trying to figure out when it is. Going to give you some information. We're going to talk about some numbers, everything to kind of give you some notice and kind of insight into that. So if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe, hit that bell notification, because I got a lot to share with you, and I cover AI stocks every single day. Okay. So right now, NVIDIA closed down today at 2%. Now I want to show you some numbers, and I want to show you this right here. So on the last month, you can see that NVIDIA is down 3%. Last 6 months, it's only up 13%. Year to date, it's up 11%. Now the 1 year number will be about a little bit better, 45%. So NVIDIA has really been lagging, if you will, behind other major stocks, like AMD. If you take a look at AMD in the last 76 days, AMD is up 175%. I know it's not a semiconductor, but Micron in the last 78 days, it's up 234%. So why is it that NVIDIA is lagging, and why is it the best time to potentially be buying? Well, number one, this is outside the scope of NVIDIA, but Micron announces earnings in 2 days. I think that Micron's going to shed a lot of light on where we're at with the current memory shortage associated, which does impact, obviously, NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, all that kind of stuff. But I think that NVIDIA is poised for the right opportunity to buy. Okay, so this is the buy window that you've been begging for. NVIDIA's forward P of 23 makes it the cheapest Mag 7 AI name, despite 4 consecutive quarters of accelerating revenue growth, now reaching 85+%. 95% bullish analyst consensus and a 299 consensus price target suggests that the market has mispriced NVIDIA even after its 27% slide from highs. Said a different way, NVIDIA is 27% discounted from where its highs. Okay, and a 299 price target puts us up at a pretty nice gain from where we're at right now. Again, NVIDIA is the Cadillac. It's the bellwether. It is the one that everybody looks at. Every time Jensen, the CEO, talks, says anything, it's of note. NVIDIA has invested tens of billions of dollars into other AI companies as part of its ecosystem. It is the leader out there, in my opinion, much more than a chip semiconductor company. All right, bears flag $119 billion in supply commitments as a potential overhang if hyperscaler AI capex slows, with net insider selling amplifying the concern. Now, this is a mildly concerning to me. We're going to talk about insider selling here in just a minute. But to me, the $119 billion in supply commitment is not an issue. I do not see capex slowing down. I do not see capex expenditures from hyperscalers and other AI data infrastructure companies slowing down. In fact, it's going up. They've just raised the number for 2026 from about 600 to 700 billion to over 1 trillion, which is going to be spent this year. They've raised the number for how much is going to be spent by 2030 by about another trillion. North of $5 to $6 trillion is going to be spent by 2030 on AI data infrastructure build out. It simply is not going to slow down or stop. So I'm not worried about this. Insider selling, look, there's always going to be insider selling. I mean, these are people that have NVIDIA stock that is dramatically lower than what we're seeing at the current price targets or current pricing right now. So insider selling, I think, is always going to be a thing. You're always going to see insider selling at Micron, NVIDIA, AMD. Now if they were massively offloading everything, that would be concerning, but I don't think that's not really happening. Again, at 208, I think that NVIDIA is mispriced. Okay. This is the chip powering the AI build out. Now I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate. There is new waves of AI coming, agentic AI, things of that nature that don't necessarily want/need the NVIDIA GPU chip, but NVIDIA is also building out, and it's not like all those chips that they have are just going to be thrown away. NVIDIA is building out the other chips that are similar to like what Intel makes, AMD makes, to obviously take advantage and still be part and still be relevant. So I'm not overly concerned about that. But again, I'm just giving you kind of both sides of the coin. Personally, at this level, I am buying more NVIDIA. Okay, so it's relative to its own growth rate and to every other mega cap competing for capital. The stock sits roughly 11% below its 52-week high. We talked about those. I showed you those numbers. Remember here, we talked about those numbers when we looked at year to date. I mean, I'm blown away that year to date it's only up 11%, and AMD is up, 200, whatever that number was, 175% in the last 76 days. Okay, so it just tells me that NVIDIA is not getting the love / respect that its peers are. And again, even at this PE ratio, again, it's still really nice. I mean, obviously the PE ratio for Micron is infinitely way better, but again, those are not necessarily the same things. Memory versus semiconductor, I own both. I like both. Okay, talk about both on the channel. So we know that NVIDIA designs the GPUs, networking fabric, and increasingly the software that hyperscalers use to build out what CEO Jensen calls AI factories. The data center segment alone, we know has produced a ton. I mean, 75 billion is what's coming in out of NVIDIA's data center segment, up 92% year over year. Networking growing 199% year over year. The pullback originated in sentiment while the income statement kept accelerating. This is a sentiment thing, okay? I don't know if people are. What I feel possibly could be going on here is that NVIDIA was really the big one. And then capital rotated out. Capital rotated to AMD. It rotated to Micron. It rotated to other companies in the AI stack, including electrical power production, Vistra, Nebius, CoreWeave, so forth, right? So it's almost like that capital left the building and didn't really come back when NVIDIA is still here. It's still relevant. Its earnings are still growing leaps and bounds. It's raised guidance. It's met its numbers. It's raised guidance, all these different variables, right? So to me, it's interesting that capital kind of left and associated with sentiment. Okay. So I think the dip does look like an entry. I am buying at these levels. NVIDIA trades at a forward PE of 23x, the lowest multiple among the Mag 7 AI names, despite the recent, the fastest top line growth. Again, revenue growth has accelerated 4 quarters in a row, 55, 62, 73, 85. Growth at this rate rarely trades at this multiple. Okay. Catalysts are concrete. Guidance for the next quarter is $91 billion in revenue at a 75% non-GAAP gross margin, explicitly excluding any China data center compute, the Blackwell, the chips, all this kind of stuff. Okay, so here's where the bears have the argument. They're talking about this $119 billion supply related commitments. If AI CapEx slows even modestly, I don't think it will. That figure flips from confidence to overhang. Hyperscalers account for roughly half of the data center revenue. I get that. All right. I just don't think it's there. We do know Michael Burry recent NVIDIA put position has gone viral on Reddit, and the underlying question, quote, whether AI return on invested capital justifies the spend. Nobody is going to stop spending on AI. This is not the dot-com bubble. I lived through the dot-com bubble. I was literally there. This is real dollars being spent on real AI build out to facilitate AI proliferation at a corporate, government, and even retail level. You and I are retail levels. Okay. I just think that this is really interesting. I think that it's sentiment. It's sentiment driven. I think that it's a capital rotation event. Capital rotated out of NVIDIA into other ones like Micron as an example. And I'm going to be putting some in here. Now I'll put probably some sell orders in places to protect my positions, from a stop loss standpoint. But I think that it's really interesting that it is not priced at, I think, what the right level is. I think at 208, the setup does favor patient owners of the name. And I think that it's a good time to buy. What do you think? Do you disagree with me? Drop in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you what you think your opinion is at this time. Okay. All right. Before I let you go, I did show you AMD and NVIDIA's charts, but look at this is AMD's chart. This is a buy alert, sell, buy, sell, buy. These are alerts coming in from my software on the trade that works on an iPhone, an Android, a computer, whatever you want it to run. It's called X1 Algo. It's a trading indicator. It's about $1.10 a day to use it. If you're interested in getting better insight and wanting to know when to buy and or sell any stock, by the way, you can use it for crypto. This is what you need. Try it. There's a link in the description below, right here below. You can try it. So 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. And you are completely protected by that. There's live coaching every week in the members area. There's also a private Discord chat community, and you can be part of that community as well for about $1.15 a day. You spend more than that on a cup of coffee. You spend more than that on a soda. Okay. You spend more than that on a pack of gum. I bought a pack of gum today extra gum spearmint, and it was $2.49. Okay, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, right? Links in the description below if you want to try this and know and get insight and know when to buy and when to sell. And it's literally. And by the way, you can set it where it's actually little pop-ups that come into your phone, little alerts. It will literally alert you when to buy or sell, and you can lock in. $1,000 bought here, sold over 176 over 76 days would have made you 175%. That is $1,752 in profit on top of your $1,000 investment that you would have made more if you had been using the software. Links are in the description below, right down there, to take you to this page. Pick the plan that works for you. 30-day, no questions asked, money back refund guarantee. Give it a look. I'll see you. Go make some money.